Hi everybody, welcome back to KUCLA. I'm Sydney Schreer reporting live from my car, and today we're going to be learning about Wagnerism. Now, what is Wagnerism? It is the phenomenon which took place at the end of the 19th century, describing the effect of German composer Richard Wagner's compositional style on his contemporaries, and on later composers as well, whether they liked it or not. It also encompasses his effect on the social movements of his time. In this way, Wagner can be compared to the Beatles, whose influence is so great that it is difficult to imagine a musical world without them. In fact, the premise of the upcoming movie Yesterday is completely based on a world that does not remember the Beatles, except for one guy, and how funny and strange it would be if the height of pop music were attributed to someone else, like Coldplay.
No, stop it. Yesterday. It's one of the greatest songs ever written.
Well, it's not Coldplay. It's not Fix You.
So who was Richard Wagner, and why is he so special? Born in 1813 as the youngest of 9 children, Wagner struggled with parental anxiety due to the many questions surrounding the identity of his actual biological father. Nevertheless, he enjoyed a successful career, though he was not always well received, as critics often called him too radical. Not in the cool way. He became known for his harmonic inventiveness, using dissonances and tonal instability as the emotional driving force behind his music. He also used what we call leitmotifs in his music dramas, brief musical themes played by the orchestra that are associated with a particular character, object, event, or emotion. So, this is the peaceful love leitmotif from Tristan und Isolde. Also, prior to Wagner, composers mostly, if not always, wrote using keys related by fifths, building off of the harmonic tension that occurs when you go up the circle of fifths. Wagner, on the other hand, used keys that were related by thirds. For instance, the third of C major is E. Building off of that, the next key Wagner might choose is E major. By using keys that were related by thirds, Wagner produced harmonies that seemed to float rather than drive toward a certain point. But just how far was Wagnerism's reach? Even composers who disliked Wagner could not fully escape his influence. French composer Georges Bizet, for example, was criticized for writing either too Wagnerian or not Wagnerian enough. He himself criticized other composers using Wagner as a standard.
Ding ding ding!
Another French composer, Claude Debussy, was at first won over by Wagner. He'd played Tristan und Isolde over and over again, and even called himself a Wagnerian to the point of forgetting the simplest principles of civility. But he eventually became more jaded towards the several over-the-top praises about Wagner being the greatest German musician who ever lived. In fact, he wrote that Wagner was a beautiful sunset mistaken for a sunrise. Well, whether Wagner was a sunset or a sunrise, he undoubtedly cast a large shadow over composers to come and revolutionized harmony forever. I wonder if we'll ever call it Beatleism. Maybe someday. And that's a wrap on Wagnerism. Thanks for tuning in to KUCLA, and we will see you next time.